Welcome and Happy New Year to all. Hope this new year brings peace and happiness to everyone. Today's topic for discussion is Business and Management Studies in France. I am Nidhi Chopra, manager at Campus France Chandigarh desk, and I'm glad to welcome our guests for the evening. So we have with us the representatives from different business schools in France. I request you to kindly introduce yourself for the viewers. We can start with Eleanor.
Hi, everyone. Well, I'm really happy to be here today to meet all of you. And I'd like to thank Campus France for making this event possible and all of you for attending this session. So yes, my name is Eleanor. I'm recruitment manager at HEC Paris for master's program. So my colleague at HEC and me are, in a nutshell, the main point of contact to help applicants navigate the admission process and until you step a foot on campus.
Shekhar.
Hi, good evening. Thank you everyone for your presence. Just like to introduce myself. I am Shekhar Surti. I'm India Office Manager of NEOMA Business School, and I am responsible for recruitment and business development of NEOMA Business School in India and neighboring countries. I'm also alumni of this business school. I graduated from the school 13 years ago, and I worked 10 years in corporate finance in France before I moved back to India.
All right, thank you. Coming to Maud.
You're choosing the eldest one of all, I think. So I'm the South Asia area manager for Rennes School of Business. My name is Maud Lebars. I'm French, but I live in Bangalore. We are two people here in India. That tells you how important the Indian students are for us in Rennes School of Business. I'm also an alumni from the school. I graduated 18 years ago, and since then I never regretted that choice because I've been working on 3 different continents since, mainly in HR, and I've recently been nominated by the French government as the trade advisor, we're calling conseillère du commerce extérieur de la France, by the French Prime Minister, to support them with the education department.
Wow.
I'm very happy to be here, and thank you very much to Institut Français and Campus France to invite us.
Thank you, and congratulations for your new role. All right, so before going further, I would request the viewers that you can send your questions in the Q&A box, and we would like to take it towards the end of this session. All right, so moving further, as we all know, education in management and business is one of the greatest strengths in France's higher education system. A master's in management or an MBA from a prestigious French university is considered to be among the very best in the world. Among 100 higher education institutions in France, they have achieved formal international recognition from their high standards. Studying in France means benefiting from this recognition. For students, France offers a whole range of possibilities. You can choose from a number of different courses from different types of institutions, benefit from different scholarships, and of course, explore future professional opportunities. So let's hear from our panelists today. Okay, so I come to Maud now. So my question is, why should a student consider France to study business or management today?
That's a very big question. I'll try to summarize in a few words. So the first thing is France is more or less the size of Rajasthan. That's the size of if you're from North India, if you're from South, you can consider Karnataka as the equivalence. And yet it's the 7th biggest economy in the world, in which in business and management, you will find 25 institutions that are in the top 100 in the world regularly since at least 2015. This is what you're getting. So it's like having 25 equivalent to IIM, Ahmedabad, Bangalore, and Kolkata, all of them say in Rajasthan or say in Karnataka. So you are sure to access the top level of academic in management and business in France. That's a guaranteed, and with different type of prices, different type of level. But this is a worldwide recognition level of teaching in management, business, and finance. So among the reasons for the great rankings is the fact that the type of education is very practical in France, particularly in management and finance and business. You have yearly internship. If I take the example of Rennes School of Business, even at bachelor level, every year a student would have to do one internship. So it's something that is explaining the success and the value also of the programs. It goes with also a strong student association life. In Rennes School of Business, if you're going to a master in management, in your first year of master in management, you have to be part of a student association and make the most of it. And so this is this philosophy of learning by doing that explains, partly the high employability of the students that have studied in French schools in management and business. So this is something that you will beneficiate first from coming to France. If I may, I have a few more points. I will not be too long, don't worry.
No, it's very important to inform the viewers, like you just said, internship, it's a big asset for the students, when they are seeking a professional career, to have, hands-on experience before they enter into the profession.
Definitely. It really matters. And the thing is that companies are playing that part here, and they've been doing that for a long time. And now on top of that, it's made mandatory for companies to pay you while you're doing your internship. So instead of having to rely on a part-time job, eventually a part of the year you're working, becoming an expert in French fries making in McDonald's, for instance, you could be really, being paid doing what you have trained yourself to become, and that exposing you and giving you more chances to get the right level of responsibilities the moment you are done with your studies. So this is a very important point, and it's very unique to France. On top of that, the costs are reasonable, and you will see, I think, with the presentation of each and every programs or the scholarship, that what I mean to say is true. Studies have been considered as an imperious motive to come to study to France, and as early as September 2020, students were able to come back to France to study, and it has never stopped since. It's also one of other reasons you should come is that the economy is thriving, even with the past few years we just had with the COVID. France has been the first country for foreign investment in Europe, which means there are more and more companies that are recognizing the interest in investing in France and have invested, and that means a lot of opportunities to come for you. It's also the most dynamic countries in Europe for unicorn building. So in the most advanced technologies and the new economy, France is very advanced, and as early as the first wave of COVID, it was definitely the case. Another reason you should consider coming to France is because you get a chance to study in English very comfortably. In the school of Rennes School of Business, 95% of the professors are not French, and they come from 48 different countries. So you're guaranteed they will teach you in English, but you have a chance to master the French language. And by the time you're done with your studies, and so that's an added value you will get by coming to study in France, because this language is spoken in 50 countries around the world, either at their first or their second language. So that gives you access to so much more than just France. I will not come into the fact that also France is part of European Union, so you have access to the Schengen zone. I'm sure we'll cover that through this session. So I think there are a lot of reasons for you to consider studying.
You are right, and in fact, the programs are taught in English in all the business schools. And apart from that, there is an international, mobility that is there. So it's a thorough international experience that the student is going to get. So yes,
yeah, you might think that France is not in 2019, 3.5 like international students chose France. So it's, don't worry, you'll really get the international experience coming to France. Yeah.
Thank you, Maud. All right, coming to Eleanor. Eleanor, we all hear that Grandes Ecoles are very selective in their admission process. So what kind of students are you looking for?
Yes, well, indeed, I think for all of our schools represented in this panel, the admission process is a selective process for, well, equally competitive students. But I think it might be the case for the other school as well. At AGC, at least, we have a holistic approach when reviewing the application of the students. So it means that we are looking for a well-rounded profile, and we're looking for a well combination of elements, such as, well, of course, academic excellence. For some programs, we can ask for a management test, the GMAT or the GRE, but elements such as work experiences, extracurricular activities, cross-cultural sensitivity are also going to be important in your application. So we don't necessarily expect like minimum grades or minimum scores at the management test, for instance, because we do also assume that one weaker element of an application can be offset by a stronger one. But for sure, we are reviewing the hard skill of the student. So thanks to concrete elements like a management test, GMAT or GRE, or like thanks to the GPA or the school you come from, for instance. But we also have a keen interest in your soft skills, what make you a person, what make you who you are today. And this can be assessed at first, I would say, before the interview phase, thanks to the experiences that you have. Involvement in some clubs, societies, work experiences, for instance. So yes, one of my advice maybe for a student who are looking at this webinar is not to underestimate any element of your application. All elements can be important, including a letter of motivation or answering to essay question to try to understand your motivation and know you better. And as I was also saying, we are also looking for unique profile. So try also to emphasize in your application any elements that will set you apart from the other candidates. And finally, maybe my last recommendation is it's all about being consistent when you apply to a school. Of course, we are looking to recruit, well, we're looking for the best student. We are looking to recruit and to attract the best students, but it's also important that on your side, you choose the school that is the best for you. It's a win-win, I would say, process as well. So try to be consistent when you're applying to a school. Try to really understand why this school is a good fit for you, because it's also what we want to see in your application, why you choose our school, and then, of course, for us, why you're a good fit for the program.
All right. So basically, it's not just the grades. It has to be an overall profile. And of course, there should be a strong motivation.
Yes, it's definitely an overall profile
Yes.
that is really important. I think if you have one thing to keep in mind regarding admission process, it's this. It's really a combination of elements and not only grades or GMAT score, for instance. But yeah, yes, really everything that makes a student is important.
Yes. All right. Okay. So thank you. Coming to Shekhar. So Shekhar, we normally get a lot of queries from the students regarding MBA and MIM, which is Masters in Management. So if we talk in an Indian context, all bachelors leads to MBA. But if we look at the French system, a bachelor or with the 1 or 2 years of experience cannot look for an MBA. So can you explain basically the difference between MBA and MIM?
Yeah, I will little bit enlarge your question. I would be explaining more about like difference between different master programs, so they better understand not only MIM but in general. So there are 3 levels of masters. One is basically master, MSc masters, and master in management. And then there is MBA, and then there is the last one is executive MBA. Now in India, as you said, even the entry level, they go to MBA program, and quite a few say, I want to do MBA without experience, or maybe 1 or 2 years I have experience. A good school proposing a good MBA would require basically minimum 3 to 4 years of experience on the lower side, I would say, and with some experience as a team leader and looking for a management position, that would be an ideal profile for a MBA. So the master programs are mainly proposed for entry level with someone who has no experience, because all the mainly in France, all the master programs have internship as part of the program. Now, why do master programs have internship is because we want you to get some practical exposure before even you graduate out of the program. So someone who has no experience, or even with few years of experience, you can still do masters. Not necessarily that you have to only do MBA, but even students come to master program because with that internship option, they want to gain an international exposure, international dimension to their profile. Plus, the master program, as I said, they have internship. It costs a little bit less than that of good MBAs. The good MBAs, they don't have internship as part of the program because they expect you to go and work after the completion of the program. The last option, the upper option, is executive MBA. Executive MBA, mostly they are part-time, they are not full-time, because it's made for people who are already in management role and they want to get into a higher management role. So mainly people with 8-9 years of experience and above, who are already lead managers and they want to go for an upper level management position. So these are the main differences. So one, like specifically for Indians, as far as I know, a lot of Indian students, they don't have an international exposure. They can ideally go for a master program. So depending on their profile, either a 1-year MSc program or a 2-year MSc MIM program. Now I will get into a little bit difference between 1-year MSc and 2-year MIM. So mainly at NEOMA, that to come to a 1-year program, they need to have either a 4-year bachelor degree or 3-year bachelor degree with 1-year experience. That is for 1-year program. For a 2-year program, so like MIM program, the eligibility for entrance is a 3-year bachelor degree. So 3-year bachelor degree student can come to a 2-year program. If you have 1-year experience, you can come to a 1-year program too. Some students have confusion now. What should I do if I am eligible for 1-year or 2-year program? What should I choose? What is better for me? Now, what happens in a 2-year program? In a 2-year program, we cover in the first year we cover fundamentals of management, and then you do specialization. If you come from science background, like medical background, so it can be interesting to do a 2-year program. But if you already come from engineering background, you can very well do 1-year programs. So 1-year programs are equally good, and it gives equal opportunities when it comes to a 1-year program or 2-year program after the completion of the program in terms of career opportunities. I hope I could clarify the doubts between different master programs.
Yes. Yes, thank you, Shekhar. Now I'm coming to more like this is elaborating more what Shekhar has just mentioned. If we look at the different programs, like starting from Masters in Management to MBA to MScs, or maybe Executive MBA, how to choose the right program based on these variety of programs, and especially in context to what Rennes School of Business has to offer?
All right, that's indeed a great question. So yeah, I mean, you have sufficient choice among the triple accredited school to reduce your choice. That's the first thing I would say. So really concentrate on those schools that are triple accredited to give a perspective of what it means. We're talking about EQUIS, European accreditation, ASCSB, American accreditation, MBA, which explains why a lot of schools in France, if they are MBA accredited, they have no choice. An MBA would always have a minimum requirement of 3 years of experience, if not more. Our own MBA, I mean, the current batch, there is 8 years of experience, in fact. So you can enter with 3 years of experience, but the 3 years have to be particularly strong. And it's really meant for people with experience who are looking at making that change, that transformation in their career, moving through that glass ceiling. So that's one thing. Then you need to assess your budget as well. You need to make sure that in the range of programs that you have in front of you that are of the right level of quality, then you need to assess whether you can afford it and it's something that you think you can commit to do. I always want to remind the students, so it's possible in France to work part-time while studying, but I want you to be very careful because if you were to choose one of those triple accredited school, it's like choosing in India a school like IIM Kolkata, for instance. There are 3 schools that are, if I'm not wrong, that are triple accredited: ISB, IIM Kolkata, IIM Indore. Excellent schools, of course. The first 2, at least I know, are much more expensive than what you will be spending to get the same master from France. But it might be equivalent to another school in France. So knowing that, I mean, let's say you would be accepted in one of those schools, I doubt you would dare a minute working part-time while studying. So consider the same when you are coming to France. So you need to be sure that you will be able to focus on your studies and on getting well-paid internship. As a way of building your profile. So that's something that I think is quite important to have in mind. Then you need to really focus on the career goal. I don't know which one I should put in first, but there are 3 elements to consider, I think. So you need to really think, and I think to enter one of our schools, you definitely have to have made that effort of thinking, what is it that I want to achieve post the master? The master is a mean to get somewhere. It's not just, it's not just the master that would do it all. If you want to achieve something, you need to know what is that you're trying to achieve. So here again, maybe the MBA is the right choice for someone who has done, I don't know, an engineering bachelor and has worked in his field, but is facing that glass ceiling because you are missing on the business and managerial perspective. So you need those skills. Then maybe the MBA is the right program. If finally what you want to do is to get into, I don't know, data and business analytics, and maybe the MBA is not the right program, and an MSc in data and business analytics is a better option. So this is something you really need to clarify and focus on the skills you need to get there. And then you can look at the options that are there. Then, of course, you may have more than one option in France, excellent options in France for the similar program. So you can look at the school itself and what they have to offer outside of class, because the particularity of the Grandes Ecoles, where the 3 schools that you have in front of you are Grandes Ecoles, is that they offer an overall experience. So they have much more to offer. They have incubators, they have talent and career support, they have student association, they have a network of alumni, and these are things that you need to see whether they are fitting with your profile. And they also are very much in touch with the companies of the region where they are located. For instance, Rennes School of Business was created in 1990, so 30 years ago. 32 now. We're celebrating the 30 years anniversary this year. And it was created by the local chamber of commerce, so by companies of the region, which were at the beginning mainly agribusiness and data digital. So that explains a lot what we have done since. particularly in the field of data analysis, agri-finance. I mean, these are fields where we are very strong. Now, there are a few more things that you need to keep in mind. If your goal is to get into a PhD, clearly a PhD, you better consider going for a 5 years type of program. I mean, 5 years since the 12th. So the 2 years master in management, if you have a bachelor in 3 years, because there are a lot of public universities that only consider that in their way of thinking. If that's not necessarily something you want to absolutely do, then you have so many more options. You could choose to do with us a 15 months master, even after 3 years bachelor, a specialized master, because your goal is very specifically in that specific domain. Let's say supply chain. I've seen that some people were interested in supply chain, but you can choose to specialize in there and have a career in the field. It can be in other fields as well. So yeah, there are many elements you need to look, and it's very important that you speak with the representative of the schools to assess whether it's the right fit for you only.
Yes.
Thank you.
Important point you mentioned, actually, looking at the curriculum is also one of the important aspects, that the program is a right fit for you or not. I mean, if there are so many choices available, even at the management level, MSCs are there, then MIM is there. So knowing the curriculum is very important. And of course, the hands-on experience, the internship and the job opportunities are also going to support. So thank you, Maud. All right, so coming to Eleanor. So now my question is, what career opportunities students can seek after the completion of any management or business program? I mean, what professional assistance is provided by the school, and what the student can seek?
Yes, well, of course, the career opportunities after a program in management or in business can evolve from a program to another. For instance, if you're taking a one-year program with a specialization in finance, you have better chances to work in finance than, I don't know, if you choose a program in marketing. So it can evolve from a program to another. But maybe the first important point that I would like to highlight is that, well, we have noticed that despite the COVID crisis that is hitting now the world for 2 years, the career placement are still very strong in most of the business school in France. So there are, I think, many reasons to explain it, but for sure, one of the reasons is that a lot of schools, HEC included, offers strong support to students to help them with their career placement, whether in France, in Europe, or worldwide, but I'll turn a bit later regarding this geographic aspect. So in the resources that a school can offer to you, you have, of course, the career services, and these teams are doing quite an incredible job to organize fairs. So it has been in a blended format during the COVID crisis or in person when possible. They organize also a lot of conferences. You have a lot of opportunities to meet on campus companies, to even do sometimes mock interview with companies. So they really try to help you meet companies, know a bit more about what they are doing to choose the right company and the right industry at the very end of your program. Another maybe support is, of course, the network that you can get in a school. At HEC, the network is it's a very collaborative network. It can sound a bit cheesy because, of course, in all kind of school you have a network, and well, it's just people, and but I can really assure to you that it's something really important for your career placement. You can really try this network as of now as an applicant. Don't hesitate to contact current students, to contact alumni, and you'll see how well the power of this network to help you strive your career objective. And finally, maybe the third resource that is quite important in the business school is a strong connection that you can have with companies throughout their academic years. Most of our school, I think, offers students the opportunity to have a balance between a theoretical approach and a practical approach. And it means in this practical approach that you'll be doing some real life case studies, business projects. Some of your teachers are going to be top executive or professionals, experts in their field. So you're going also to enhance your network thanks to all this connection that you're going to have with companies. So this is about, I would say, more the resources, but I guess that you understood that the issue is not having a job at the end of the program, but it's more choosing the right one for you. In any case, you will have access to a wide range of career opportunities, industries, and geographic areas. We have noticed, well, it was over the past few years, a trend for students, with majority of students choosing to work in consulting, which was a good way to have a challenging job after a master program and to work for different industries before specializing into something. We do observe also that a lot of students were interested in finance, financial services. And I think that now the trend is a bit changing. More and more students are interested in entrepreneurship. We have seen over the past few years a lot of startup launch right after a master's program. And also a lot of students are interested in a job with a purpose. So for example, interested in finance, but green finance, sustainable finance. And this sustainability topics have really raised an interest for students over the past few years as well. So it opens quite a lot of doors, I would say, for traditional or a bit more atypical career in any case. And one point, I think I mentioned it also during when I was talking about the application process, but of course we will equip you with the hard skill, with the theoretical skill that you will need to find a job, but also all the other soft skills that you can learn beside the classes, that you can learn also by being involved in the extracurricular life. And I think Maud mentioned it as well, how important it is also to be involved in some club societies. So all those soft skills, you will be really learning, I would say, how to strive in a collaborative, in a challenging, in a multicultural environment. And these skills are really the one needed by the companies and which will make the difference when looking for a job. And then I just wanted to end regarding the where you can work. So first, of course, if you're doing a master degree in France, you'll have easiest access to the French market. I just want maybe to raise a little warning, or maybe more like a recommendation than a warning. But if you're willing to work in France, if you want to work in France or at least do an internship, it's preferable to have French proficiency, or at least a basic knowledge in French, especially for front office jobs. So I highly recommend to you, if it's your career objectives, to start learning a bit of French before coming into the country and before looking for a job. However, even if you're studying in France, we also mentioned it, I think it was the first question, but it will also open quite a lot of doors in Europe, especially if you speak English, even in English-speaking countries such as Germany, Netherlands, you may have easiest access to the job market, even if you don't really speak the local language. So yes, it's also a way to open the reasons on the European markets. And as you may know, it's quite easy to go from a country to another when you are in Europe, thanks to this Schengen agreement. And of course, worldwide, it's also possible. We noticed that some students choose to go back in their home country. Some students choose to work in different geographic areas, such as Asia, Middle East, America, mostly. And once again, thanks to resources like the network, the fact that we have offices or that we have chapters all over the world, you can easily find a job opportunity elsewhere.
All right, thank you. And what you mentioned about the French language, that's very important. Although the courses are in English, but knowing the language can really help opening many doors, many avenues for the students, not only in France, but then whole of Europe. So, all right, Shekhar, coming to you, Like Eleanor mentioned that during COVID times, also the institute really supported the students. So what you have to say in this, how institutes have adapted and responded to the COVID situation? I mean, especially in context to the international mobility. So if you can say something on this.
Basically, what I can say is what school could do at this time. First of all, school follows the government in terms of COVID. What we follow is government guidelines. This is the first important thing that I need to share. So before even school takes some decision, we need to know what are guidelines provided by the government and we act accordingly. Then during the lockdown measure that was 2 years ago or last year, we could propose online courses. But now at this moment in present situation, the courses are completely in classroom. We do not have any online course at this moment on. So everyone is there in France and they are following the program in the classroom. And with regards to the during the COVID situation, there was also some help provided by the school for the students, and students even between themselves, they could help each other. So what we say in NEOMA is we are a family. And I believe not only NEOMA, but other schools also had all schools in France. They did well support their students. So it is important that because they are away from their home country, so
Yes.
it is important that we take care of them, we guide them, and support them in whatever way we can, and we did our best. So there was some even NEOMA went out of the way to give some kind of, not a scholarship, but as kind of subsidy during the COVID to help student in not a very good period for everyone, I would say. So that happened 2 years ago, the first lockdown. So NEOMA did went out the way and helped some student with some small funding that helped them with I mean, to manage their expenses in some way or some other help, the medical help that they might need. So all things were provided by the school. And I believe other schools have had some contacts they would have put in place to get to support student in need or any medical assistance that they might need. So
All right.
we were there, we are there, we will continue to support students. So it was not only in past, even in future, and I believe all schools would do that, and it is our interest. They are part of the school, so it's not someone outside, but you are
Yes.
part of the family. I believe it's for all other schools too. So yeah.
Yes, so institutes really went out of the way to support the students.
Yes, and
Not just one, two, but
what I want to say is it was not only new for you, it was new for each and every person in the
everyone.
world, I would say.
Yes.
So we are living in different world. Everyone has adapted to it. The one best thing that I would say in this COVID is all students could come to France. So even now students ask question, will I get visa? So do not worry. 2020, 2021, we have two intakes, September, January. Students could come to France and they could follow their program. So do not worry on visa. We all are here to guide you and help you in any assistance that you might need. So do not worry on the visa aspect. And as far as schools can, the objective is to propose you the course in classroom, but not online. So don't worry on that aspect also. The only time that we would have to go online is if government oblige a lockdown and we have no other option but to go online.
Yes.
And we have put in place a virtual campus at NEOMA Business School. So this virtual campus is very interesting thing. So you create your avatar, and you really walk. You can walk inside the virtual campus. You can enter an auditorium.
Or
You
a
can
class.
also attend your classroom. So it's really the virtual campus is like it gives you an impression like a physical campus. You can talk to someone on virtual campus. So while you're walking, there is someone on the side, you can go and talk to that person. So that is something very new. So when it comes to school, we talk in advancement of technology. So this is one of the example I say that having virtual campus is also very new thing that came up during this COVID period, and we have successfully use that as a tool. Yeah.
All right, all right. So thank you. And now last but not the least. So that is the question on the scholarships. So what scholarships can support the Indian students? We have a Charpak Master Scholarship, which supports through the monthly stipend, and this scholarship is currently open until 28th of March. The students who are in the process of getting admission or who already have the admission, they can apply through the Charpak Masters program, and this application is available online. So now this is, and we also have a lot of scholarships from the Franco India Trust, which are there for different domains. But now coming to the institutional scholarships, what student can look for in the institutional scholarships? This, I think, question is open to all.
If you want me to start, I'm happy to do so. Yeah, all right. Thank you. So I think you forgot just to mention that even if a student cannot didn't get a scholarship before coming from to France, they are all, if they're less than 28-year-old, they're all capable of getting the accommodation allowance that represents 30% of the rent reimbursed on a monthly basis by the French government. So I don't think there are a lot of countries that are that generous. And not mentioning in times of COVID that the public health system is available for free, not costing 75,000 rupees a year, like some other countries, nearby countries are doing. So it's for free. So these are two things that I think needs to be, in your mind. Whatever your social profile, whatever your academic profile, you will get access to that if you're less than 28 for the accommodation allowance, for everyone for the other. Now, in terms of school, before coming, you can apply for scholarship. One of them is to encourage you to learn French. We do provide 500 euros of scholarship for people who have made the effort of learning French, at least A1. Before coming to us, or getting the visa, just because we believe in multilingualism being an international school. I graduated, I was fluent in 5 languages. No wonder I had an international career. So it's really something that you should, consider as not a constraint coming to France, learning French, but as an opportunity for a lifetime. So that's one thing. Then we have the classic academic-based scholarship called Talent Scholarship, 1,000 to 5,000 euros. And we have added something. It doesn't have to be just academic. Anyone who has done something non-academic that is worth considering can also get 1,000 to 5,000 euros of scholarship. So we have this overall. Now, the COVID has allowed us to finalize a foundation. And so we have now as well for students reaching a social based scholarship. During the COVID year, we gave 2 lakhs of euros of scholarship to students when in need because of the situation. And we have now that available for all of our students every year.
All right. So Eleanor and Shekhar, if you want to add.
Yes, I can continue. So I think it was quite important the fact that Maud mentioned that you have access to the health quite easily, well, very easily in France in comparison with a lot of countries. And even French people sometimes are not like how do you say that? Like, well, it's something that is super rare, and it's something really, really apart in the French system, and also for housing. For HEC, we have two main scholarship programs. One that is called the HEC Excellence Foundation Scholarship, and the other one that is called the Women's Eye Potential Scholarship. It's for all the master's program and whatever application round you apply to. It's exactly the same process. They are merit-based scholarship. The only difference, obviously, is that for the second one, Women's Eye Potential Scholarship, one of the eligibility criteria is to be a woman, but then it's open to all international students, those two scholarships. And they are merit-based, they are based on the overall application of the student and also on the interview results. So the motivation is also quite important. And the amount is deducted from the tuition fees. It can vary from 3,000 to 12,000 euros for the HEC Excellence Scholarship, and it can be up to 15,000 euros for the Women's Eye Potential. So these are the two main, in addition to what Campus France can offer, that we can offer at HEC.
Shekhar?
Yes, so at NEOMA Business School, we have two types of scholarship. One is early bird scholarship for our MSc programs, and the global BBA program that we offer for bachelors, which is for masters. For early bird for MSc programs is 1,000 euros, and for global BBA it's 500 euros. We also have merit-based scholarship for MIM, MSc, and global BBA programs that we offer. So the merit-based scholarship differs from program to program, but it can be up to 4,000 euros. The merit-based scholarship, and students can accumulate both the scholarship apart from the scholarship offered by the French government.
All right, so I'm going to take some questions now. There's a question: what is the difference between MSc in luxury management and MBA in luxury management?
Well, it's the same that we discussed earlier, because mainly MBA would be a MBA, which is for someone who might be having a good amount of experience, and MSc would be more of a entry level or maybe few years of experience. Now, if someone wants to add.
Yeah, I mean, the
yeah.
MBA is meant to be something that is more generalistic by essence. So I mean, you have to always check the content of the program before choosing. An MSc in luxury and brand management would be really focused on that, and that only. You're not going to learn about finance, about HR, about anything else. An MBA normally, first you need to be experienced, but would normally have the overview plus a specialization. So I would say that's what I see as a difference.
All right. So next question is, I have completed my bachelor's in 2021. Currently, I'm doing a diploma course. Can I apply for MIM in France now?
Yes.
Yes, apparently, yes.
Yes.
I think that the eligibility criteria is to hold at least a bachelor and have, let's say, less than 3 years of work experience. So I think that for the student, it fits the criteria.
Maybe it's the chance to tell the admission process, or like the admission deadline for all schools. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I'll just stay for us. So you have until 15th of June to do it. The earlier you apply, the more chances you'll get access to scholarship, because we have an overall envelope and it goes to the best students throughout. But otherwise, you still have time to do it, and you can do it even if you don't have yet your bachelor degree in hand. You can apply for a conditional admission.
All right. So is GMAT necessary, or CAT exam scores are also considered?
I think this might depend on the school. If I'm seeking for HEC, we require for most of the program, there are few exemptions, but for most of the program, we require a GMAT or a GRE, and we don't accept CAT or CFA as a replacement. So it's also something that you need maybe to anticipate a bit when applying to the master program. And I'm taking this opportunity to also talk about the admission process at HEC, but we have 4 different application rounds. deadline has already passed for next intake, September 2023, but we still have two, one at the very beginning of March, on the 2nd of March, and one on April 20th. And my best recommendation for a student for HEC is to apply when your application is the strongest. This is the first golden rule, and then of course the soonest the better.
We do not require at NEOMA Business School, GRE GMAT is not mandatory. So if you do not have, it is fine with us. But yes, because we do not ask for GRE GMAT, it is important that you have a good academic background, because that is a base for us. And yeah, we don't require IELTS also if your education is in English. However, if you have GRE GMAT score, IELTS score, we recommend you to upload them in the application, because it adds value to your profile. Earlier you apply, better opportunity you have to get our scholarship, because we have limited amount of scholarship. Quite a few students think, I want to wait, I want to have, I would apply later. There is no reason to wait. Do apply as soon as possible. We do also give, we provide application fee waiver. So if you want, please reach me by email. Can provide you, so you can apply without any cost in this case with us.
If I can just add on for the CAT, we do recognize the CAT as much as the GMAT or GRE, but we don't use it for selection as such. It's only for one program that we might accept it, not for admission, but to rank you and give you access in last year if you want to exchange. You could be going for your last year to in one of the 350 partner universities around the world. That's your choice. But for the same, you need to be in a ranking with the French students. So that's where we use those. And if you don't have one of them, it's okay. We also have our own our own type of test that we can give you for free. Yeah. And our master in management, either you go for an exchange, abroad, or you can stay in Rennes and do a double degree, get an MSc on top of your master in management, if you decide to choose that. So it's not mandatory.
All right. So one last question. This is from a student, an engineering graduate, having 2 years of experience, looking for masters in project management. Is it possible?
Yes.
Yes, for us, it's going to be called the Global Business Management Program. And that has a strong module on project management, but also covers other topics.
We at NEOMA, we have an international project development program, and also it prepares them for a certification on Prince 2, which is a professional certificate, which helps them to grow in their career. So the student can email me his profile, I can guide him through the process.
All right. Thank you so much for joining and sharing your valuable thoughts. It was indeed a pleasure to have you today. And thank you, viewers, for watching. Have a great evening, everyone. And it's a festival today in India, especially in the north. So
Yeah.
Lodi.
Happy Lori.
Yes. So
Happy Lori,
happy Lodi to everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Have a great evening, everyone. Bye.